Hey everybody, it's Edie and welcome to Mixed Mediology Monday. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Mixed Mediology Monday, basically each week I'm going to be showing either a work in progress, an entire project, or something artsy, craftsy, cooking, sewing, yeah, something. Just either a snippet of something that I've been working on or an entire project, and just something to share with you each week to kind of say, hey, how you doing? I'm thinking of you and this is what I've been working on. So this week's Mixed Mediology Monday is going to be a little bit different. Some of you know that I recently moved into a new studio. We actually converted a small itty bitty little section of my bedroom into an art studio for me. And I've been organizing and straightening and arranging and putting things in their place for the last couple of weeks, and I've got it pretty much as good as it can get. It's a very, very, very small space, so I'm really limited on where I can put things, how much stuff I can actually have, and then how I can organize within those places. So I'm still working on getting some containers so that I can divide things out a little bit more. But for the most part, my studio is as organized as it can be for now, until I get more containers and possibly put up some shelves. But I'm not sure yet how that's going to work or where they're going to go. So come on into my studio with me and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we are. Welcome to my studio. You will see I have all of the drawers open already because I recorded this once and it was like 45 minutes long. So if you would like to see the extended version, leave me a comment and I will re-edit the video to show the full version, which is seriously like 45 minutes long. I go through and I talk about how I have things separated and what's in each drawer more in detail. And it's really, really long-winded. But if you want to see it, leave me a comment and I will re-edit the footage and share the 45-minute studio tour. But for now, I just wanted to go back and start again and do a much more condensed version and give you a tour and tell you kind of how I have things set up and why they are the way they are. So this is my studio, and it's about 8 feet long by 6 foot wide, and it's a small cubby off to the side of my bedroom, and we rearranged it and took the computer and the curios and things out of here and put my desk and art supplies in here. So this is my studio now. So I have my desk, and then I have one of those plastic drawer container things, and then I also have an armoire. I have my chair here, and then I also have a 5-drawer chest of drawers here, and that is everything. So I just want to tell you a little bit about what is in each drawer, why it's arranged the way it is, and my desk is quite a mess because I'm in the middle of working on a project, so overlook the top of the desk. But the first thing I want to talk about is how I have my desk arranged. I have my computer set up so that I can get to it at all times, and then I have 2 lamps set facing right where I work, and then I have my tripod sitting there. Usually my camera's on top of it, pointed right down at my workstation. Then I have a towel hanging there with my little craft mat on top of it. And the reason I have the towel there is because since I moved into this studio, the sound just bounces right off the wall and goes immediately into the mic for the camcorder, and it makes it sound like I'm screaming and it's really distorted. So I have the towel hanging there as a buffer, and actually we're going to be taking this shelf out of here and hanging the towel up properly. It's a towel from Wicked the Musical. So the towel will actually be hanging up properly to be displayed, but also as a sound barrier. So it's just hanging there for right now to kind of cut the sound off of that one little space. So the first thing that I want to show you is the drawers. And in here is my tape collection. So I have Scotch tape, washi tape, magnetic tape, duct tape, anything you can imagine. Tape is in this drawer. Double-sided tape, anything. All of my tape is in there. And that's a really large hat box. Then in this drawer, it's going to fall over. Let me rearrange it. Hold on. Not rearrange it. I had to pull it out. I had to use 2 hands to pull it out. So this drawer holds all of my, oh, I hope it doesn't fall. I'm going to kind of lean against it here. I have all of my acrylic inks are in here. All of my golden fluid acrylics And then I also have some RIT dye down in the back there. These are all the large bottles and my sprays and the tall ink daubers. Anything that's really tall and doesn't really fit into anything else goes into this drawer. The next drawer down holds all of my alcohol inks and my Distress Crackle, my Distress Stains, puff paint, India ink, little things like that that are smaller. And there's also some powdered RIT dye in there, and then some powders for when I do molds. You put the powder into the mold. The next drawer down is my glitter drawer. So I've got my stickles, my little individual little packets of glitter, my containers of glitter. All of that goes into that one. This drawer is pretty random. It's stuff that I need to get my hands on or things that don't really have another place right now. I need more containers so that I can organize things differently, because I still want to separate things out a bit more, but I'm looking for the right kind of containers and I haven't found them yet. So for now, kind of a random drawer, but I have a mask that I can always get my hands on, so whenever I need to sand or spray paints and things like that, I can put a mask on. I also keep my I also keep my jewelry tools in here, my camera so that I can snap pictures of works in progress or finished projects, and a charger for a camcorder, my cell phone charger, and my decorative scissors. I need a different container for these. Also some things that can be altered, or those large letter stencils that don't really have a place yet. This drawer is for things for other people, things that I either need to send to other people or things that I'm creating for other people, swaps that I'm involved in. All of that stuff will go into this drawer here. The next drawer down has all of my embellishments and stickers and chipboard pieces and, all of these little packages of things that you can get. That has all of that in here. And all of my chipboard pieces go in here. This drawer, again, kind of random, but these things don't really go with anything else. I've got some dried flowers in here. These are dried pine cones that look like roses, some netting, some large styrofoam balls, mica flakes, large drawer pulls. This stuff doesn't really match with anything else. Some pretty rocks. You just kind of have to find a place for it. Then it's out of focus. There. The very bottom drawer is my jewelry drawer. So this is costume jewelry pieces, beads, not necessarily regular beads, but like pearls and things like that. All the jewelry that I got in Bahrain, all kinds of jewelry findings, jewelry wire, all that goes into the bottom drawer. Now let's move over to my desk. The desk has everything that is my go-to items. So the stuff that I use the most goes into the desk. The top drawer here has all of my more specialized glitter, the little micro beads and the large containers of glitter in specialized colors, my flocking powder, my embossing powder, my favorite glue, my rotary cutter, things like that I use all the time. And then also some of the more special things. I have some pigment powders here, my little sea sponges, punch, my Cinnelier oil pastels, things that I don't really have a place for. They need a place. I go to them kind of often, but not really, so they go into this drawer. The next drawer down is all of my ink for stamping. It's got some alphabet stamps in here. It's got all of my inks stacked up. This is all Distress ink. This is the regular like dollar inks. And my archival ink pad. Then this is also where I put my things like my Gold Flake and my Pearl-Ex powders and other pigment powders. All of those things go in here. My little glitter tray. And this is more stamping stuff down here. Then the bottom drawer on this side is all for paper. So I keep my stencils in a large scrapbook with the pockets. Let's see if I can pull this out and flip through it real quickly. So I keep all of my stencils in these scrapbook pockets. And then underneath that is my Bristol paper pad and my art journals and all of the paper that I go to most frequently. Then the drawer that's directly in the center of the desk is where I keep all of my pens and paintbrushes and palette knives and the things that I need on a daily basis, you know, eyeglass cleaner, fingernail file, chapstick. Then I also keep a little pack of tags here and mailing stamps, whiteout, things like that, rubber bands, Q-tips, little tools that I use. Also, these oil pencils go here. And then I have my son's iPod and a set of headphones. This is where I keep my needles. They stick into an eraser. So this is kind of like electronics, random electronic stuff. And then I have 3 drawers on this side of the desk. The top drawer is really for the things. Let me just plug in my camcorder here because it's going to die. Because I already used it for 45 minutes. Okay. The top drawer here is things that I use for mark making and applying texture. So let me move the wire. So my bubble wrap, plastic canvas, punchinella, sponges, all of that stuff goes in there. More punchinella, corrugated cardboard, these little mesh net thingies from fruits and things. Then right here is where all of my credit cards go for scraping, mark making, and all that goodness. My mini misters go in here, my scissors, my spouncer, a syringe for like dripping alcohol or dripping water, things like that. And then I have a bunch of little things in here for making circles. So you dip it in paint, make a circle. Pencil sharpener. All of that goes right here. On this side is other things that I use for mark making, but not quite so much. So I have a comb with a pick on it, and that's actually a barbecue brush, and, you know, spouncers and things like that. The next drawer down is where I keep all of my paint. I have a Jerry's catalog in here as well. I went through and marked the stuff that I've got and the stuff that I want, so I don't end up with a bunch of duplicates. Then on one side is where all of my palettes go. I have some with the little wells, and then a bunch of little flat palettes, and these are actually just little butter lids. That's my favorite palette. And all of my craft paint is in here. Then on this side is my regular tubes of acrylic paint. All of the regular large tubes, like my Liquitex Basics. Then here are all of my glues, especially the ones that I go to all the time. So I have my Fabri-Tac, my Mod Podge Dimensional Magic, Glossy Accents, all of those glues are right here handy. Plus I keep my Crackle and my clear gesso right there so that they are always right at my reach. Then the bottom drawer has all of my mediums. So this side over here is all mediums, all my different mediums, modeling paste, glazing medium, stuff like that. I keep my gesso and my regular gel medium right there on the desk at all times so that I can just grab them. But every other medium stays right here in this drawer. I also have larger spray bottles that don't fit in the smaller drawer. They've got spray paints and stuff in them. Those are mixed up and ready to go. A large bingo dauber that doesn't fit. This is a pan of watercolors. I also have 2 large canvas pencil cases in this drawer. And these are the large ones. You can get the ones that cost about $1, and then you can get the ones that cost about $3. These are the larger ones that cost about $3. In this pencil case, I have all of my markers and gel pens and ink pens. And then in this one is all of my Prismacolors and Inktense pencils. Then I have a smaller container here, a smaller bag that I keep all of my Neocolor 2s in. I keep my open package of paper clay handy right here. Then I keep some baby wipes and my art sticks, gouache, tube watercolors, and then a huge pack of chalk pastels right there. I also keep my little cloths in case I need to dry something up handy. And that is what stays in my desk. Beside the desk I have some canvases and then 2 masks that I need to alter, and I keep my heat gun plugged in at all times. Now let's come over to the armoire. On top I keep my webcam so that whenever I do my Tuesday Schmoozdays and live streams I can plug this in. And then right behind that I have a container here that has all of my clay tools in it. So all of the things that I use when I'm working with paper clay or polymer clay, all of my little tools are in there. I have a box here of wooden blocks from stamps and paper mache boxes and little things like that to be altered. I have 2 books here that I am working on altering. I also keep some of my art leaned here so that it kind of hides the boxes. This container here is for my 12 by 12 scrapbooking pads. Then I keep my Sizzix, my sewing machine, and a box of sewing supplies. So that's all of my thread and needles and seam ripper and all that stuff is in this little tote here behind my Sizzix underneath my sewing machine. This is a little doll to alter, and then I have a large container here for rulers and huge long paintbrushes and knitting needles and things that don't really fit anywhere else. Coming down inside, I have 2 shelves, and the top shelf has all of my art books and then some little bottles to be altered and the cups that I use when I'm mixing up resin. And the bottom down here, if you can see, it's very dark, I know, but there are more journals in there, and then the large black space is the book that I keep all of my large stamps in. And then this book right here, this is a 3-ring binder, and I keep all of my stamps in there. So let me close this door and we'll start talking about the drawers. In the top drawer here I have all of my wax stuff. So I've got 2 containers of beeswax, I've got candles, I've got 2 little mini irons. I've also got extra boxes of graphite pencils and some little tins to be altered and my calligraphy pen set. This next drawer has some scrapbooking supplies. So it's got stickers and grunge paper and embellishments that were for scrapbooks, and then also the little mini paper pads that don't fit into the 12 by 12 pad box. Then I've got my portable hard drive here, and I have 2 more containers. This bottom container has all of my metal ephemera and, you know, springs and screws and mini light bulbs and all that good stuff in there. Then this box here is just random ephemera of all kinds to be used on anything. I also have a couple of little chipboard books that don't really fit anywhere else. Then the next drawer is really random stuff, but it doesn't fit anywhere else. Like, it doesn't go with anything. There's no real theme here, so it's not like I can organize this differently. And it's really odd or awkward shaped, so it just kind of has to sit in the drawer. In the very back of the drawer, I have some mini canvases and things like that. In the very front of the drawer, I have my Sizzix dies stacked up. And then this is all random stuff that doesn't really fit anywhere else. Things to be altered or used in some way. But I do have my little Scrabble tiles here in a jar, and then I have a pack of bingo cards right there. Other than that, everything else pretty random. The next drawer down has all of my lace and ribbon and yarn and trims of different kinds in here. See all kinds of stuff in here. And then this is all of my spools of ribbon. And then the very bottom drawer, which I'm not going to pull all the way out because it's really heavy and I have these things right here to alter. That's all creative paper clay, polymer clay, amazing mold putty, resin, molds, all that kind of stuff goes into the bottom drawer there. Then here on the side I have more canvases. My larger canvases are stacked up, and then some large pieces of bubble wrap that will be used eventually. Then I have some other items to be altered. I have a huge bucket of seashells here and a huge tub of gesso. Then I have a little camera and some boxes to be altered, things that need to go out in the mail. And then on top of the 5-drawer chest, I have 2 pieces of art that need to be hung. You can see the wall here is empty and then the wall behind me is empty. So these will be hung on the wall. And this is my little goddess figure, but she fell and got broken, so I have to glue her back together. So I have my little goddess and then my god figure. I have a candle. I keep incense in this one, and then my little tiny goddess here. Now let's talk about what's inside these drawers. In the very top drawer I have 2 large packages of wool roving, and then in here I have a container that's got all of my oil pastels, my flesh tint chalk pastels, and then some pastel pencils. In the drawer below that is some tissue paper, but then it's also a bunch of texture makers basically. So it's got my doilies and some latch hook, I think that's what that's called, different things like that, and then a stack of wallpaper samples and some textured cardstock or scrapbook paper. And on this side I've got my bingo cards, the little daubed bingo cards, and underneath here is more texture makers and also a pack of little rubber bands. This is also where I keep my large clamps whenever I need to hold stuff together until it's dry. That's where those clamps are. This drawer has a bunch of containers with itty-bitty little bits of ephemera. So I have a large container here on the bottom, and then I have containers sitting on top of that. And you can kind of see how I've got things arranged. You know, I've got little containers with a bunch of little stuff in it. So eventually all the drawers will have containers like this. They just won't be as small. I need some medium-sized containers that I just don't have yet. This drawer is all silk flowers and leaves. And this drawer is all sewing stuff. So these are sewing patterns for costumes that I have either already made or that I want to make or that I plan to make in the future. And then this is zippers and elastic and things like that. And there we have the full tour of my studio. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Again, if you want to see the full, very extended version of this tour, just comment below and I will re-edit the footage and share the 45-minute long studio tour with a much more in-depth look at what's in the drawers, how I have things organized, and kind of the reasoning behind why the things are organized the way they are. I hope you enjoyed this studio tour. If you have any questions, just shoot me a comment right down below and I will answer it as soon as I can. If you like what you see from me, please like and subscribe and share. Tell your friends. Share it on Facebook. Put it on Pinterest. Share it on Twitter. Get it out there. Tell everybody about it. So don't forget to subscribe and I will see you next week. Mwah. Bye.